This is the first time I'm actually taking you internationally, going on a flight, taking you with all the exciting things we have planned for these coming 48 hours. So I'm going to Dublin. I'm visiting the LinkedIn EMEA headquarters. We're going to join in on an agency event, so for a bunch of DACH agencies, and I'm going to talk about measurement, talk about Fibbler. I thought I would sit around a small table with maybe 5 to 10 people. Before I left the LinkedIn office after the agency presentation, I was told there would be 100 people tomorrow. Exciting times to be alive, right? Hey everyone, and welcome back to another vlog here with me, with Fibbler. And this is the first time I'm actually taking you internationally, going on a flight, taking you with all the exciting things we have planned for these coming 48 hours. So I'm going to Dublin. I'm visiting the LinkedIn EMEA headquarters. We're going to join in on an agency event, so for a bunch of DACH agencies, and I'm going to talk about measurement, talk about Fibbler. Super excited to do so. We're also going to meet a bunch of these agency operators I've only met online so far, but have huge respect for, obviously. And then on the second day, we will sit down with the LinkedIn EMEA team and talk about, what's new in Fibbler, what's coming, and all of those good things. So pretty intense 48 hours hanging out with all of these people. I'm going out to dinners during the evenings. Yeah, and just having a good time, hopefully, and learning a lot on what's to come. I'm here in the train station in Lund, the city, or I live outside the city, really. Taking myself to the Copenhagen airport, going to Dublin from there. So, yeah, I'll take you along for the ride. Exciting times to be alive, right? So we made it safely through security. Now we're here in the SAS lounge, having some breakfast. Because you gotta save up for the lounge breakfast. It's pretty simplistic guy. It's basically only eggs. I'm a big egg fan. One could think I work out a lot and that's why I need eggs. I used to, and now I'm a startup founder and have kids, so it doesn't really happen anymore, right? But yeah, so I'll be here for 1 or 2 hours before the plane heads off for Dublin. I'll work on some of the presentations that I'm going to have when I'm there. Yeah, and hopefully we can make them a bit more exciting than just presenting slides, right, and get some engagement into that. So yeah, I'll show you a bit of that work as well. All right, so starting off with the story around Fibbler, of course. Like I felt this issue massively throughout a big portion of my career when spending on LinkedIn specifically, but also all other channels. Talking about that to kind of create some trust into who I am and why they should listen to me, and then talk about our partnership with LinkedIn, more or less, how we're partnering with them and how we have access to this company intelligence API as one of 5 vendors in total, and then talking about where there are a bunch of different attribution tools out there, where do we fit in? Because I honestly think that we're focused on the SMB market. I think we're almost the only one that does that. There are many other great attribution vendors in our space that one could see as competitors. I see it more as we serve different needs. They do the SMB market, we do the SMB market, and they can kind of take over when it comes to that, right? So talking about a couple of different use cases, the attribution part, of course, talking about customer journeys, that is important to us, how you can sync ad data to CRM, cross-channel insights between different ad channels. That is something we're working on a lot. And then maybe our latest feature, and maybe one of the greatest things we've launched so far, the MCP, how to actually use all of the ad data and kind of CRM data that we have and use it inside your own Claude and ChatGPT instance, and what that means for the future of evaluating your ads performance. Then I'll do a brief demo on everything like this, and some pricing, and then do some questions. Really excited to do this, honestly. And as I said, I'm not that comfortable. I'm from food and not that comfortable pitching Fibbler. I'm still trying to always give some sort of value around what we're trying to solve, and more around those topics, what I think about and so on. than necessarily trying to get them on Fiddler, right? So, but I probably need to get better than that on that. Yeah, we'll see you on the plane. Safely arrived here at the hotel, and I'll take you with me for a little bit of a room tour. It's extremely small, so it's not much of a tour, but what do? This is why we're doing Fiddler, right? I'm just happy to be able to travel and stay in any places, right? So it's really cool. So as you can see, we have one large room here, big bed. That's good for me. Let's see if we have any view that we can here's a wall. I thought it was a view, but apparently not. We're here at Wilton Park, I believe. Let's see if do we have any other room? I think we have a toilet here. Here we go. Small, yeah, pretty big actually. I think the toilet is almost the size of the actual thing. But yeah, love it. I just gonna put you down here. Let's see if we can get it to work. There we go. All right, I didn't manage to shoot anything at the airplane. I accidentally booked the outer seat, the worst seat, right? And it was a pretty packed flight. But yeah, arrived safely, no issue. I think it's 2.5 hours or something from Copenhagen to Dublin. And now I have about half an hour until I'm going to the LinkedIn office here. It's just across the road, so it's super easy. Have lunch here with all the kind of attendees to this agency event. Hopefully I am actually able to film some of the presentation I'm going to give on Fiddler, so hopefully you can see some of that, and I'll also hopefully be able to shoot some from the rooftop there. Yeah, just really excited to be here and to meet people that are passionate about the same things as I am. But I wanted to touch upon another thing I've been thinking so much about, recently. Where should Fiddler, and for you that haven't heard of Fiddler before or don't know what we do, we're basically like an attribution software trying to help people understand what their paid advertising is giving back to them in B2B primarily. We've grown very quickly. We almost have 600 customers now, almost $1 million in ARR, and we've done so without any AI, without anything AI whatsoever. We of course build with AI, like that's how we can build so quickly, right? But now we have to think about where should Fiddler go in the AI world. Do we want to completely shift and become AI native first with a chat interface only? Probably not, right? But I definitely see, we just launched our MCP, as you will have seen from the last video, and how horrendous that launch was. I've been sent so many reports from the MCP and from our customers using it already. Like, they are astounded, and I am as well as a marketeer, by the sheer kind of granularity you can get in reporting when you can decide yourself on what to do. But I would say it's still hard for less advanced marketers to use it in a good way. So I'm definitely seeing like short-term AI vision for Fiddler being like, okay, we have this MCP data now. What can we do with that data? How can we make marketeers use that data more effectively and recommend them what to do next? So instead of just becoming a chat interface, I still see value in dashboards. I definitely see it having a value. If you want to look at the same dashboards every month, it makes sense to have a place where you can see that without having to ask for it, right? But I definitely see a place where you want to have these very granular dashboards that or reports or whatever you want to create on your own, and maybe you want someplace you can store them, right? Because you want to look at them all over the place. That's a thought from me. Like, it's so hard to build a company and decide what to do next, right? Which is also why we're hiring this kind of head of AI that can take this vision or challenge this vision to places that we haven't even thought about before. So yeah, and just an update on the hiring also. It's so hard when you are a 2-person team to know what kind of person you want to come into your company, right? Because we're so passionate and motivated by this, and we want someone that feels the same way, obviously, which is very hard when it's not a founder directly. So how can we find that person and obviously compensate them extremely well, or start up well at least in doing so? It's very difficult. We've met with a bunch of people already, so it's already super rewarding, and we learn what we're looking for as we go here. But yeah, really happy with the process so far, and hopefully we can tell you more on something soon. 30 minutes of chill downtime here, and then off to the LinkedIn office. All right, hey everyone, nice to meet all of you. My name is Adam. I am the co-founder and CEO of it's funny to say that you're a CEO when we're two people, but I am CEO. Soon three. A company called Fibbler, and we do attribution basically. We started with just LinkedIn, and now we have added Google and going to continuously like add stuff, other ad channels basically. But I've been an in-house marketer for most of my career, 10 years or so, and then kind of ended up, as you do sometimes, with like a frustration of having a hard time, and that is how Fibbler got started in the first place. So I've done a lot of LinkedIn ads, especially leading demand gen teams and so on at various startups and scale-ups, but always had a really hard time kind of arguing for LinkedIn and investing in LinkedIn. The money was always going to Google or someplace else, but I believed in my soul that LinkedIn was working. So what I then started doing was kind of stitching this. I got access to this LinkedIn API at the time. It was like 2023, I think. I started like manually stitching data together, which was took like months. But that was like the start of Fibbler, to trying to not only look at direct leads, but trying to find other ways to look at results. And I mean, that has been the scenario at all companies I've been at. It has been really hard to argue towards like the exec team, the board, like why we should make this investment. And that is kind of what I'm trying to solve for. Also, I've been working mostly at startups, which don't have infinite budgets. There are many, like as you saw, other attribution vendors out there that I have never been able to afford at the time, right? So it was very important to me, and the kind of vision with this was to create something for myself. Like I wanted an individual marketeer to basically be able to swipe their own card and just have something. It will never be the most advanced, but have something. So that's kind of the journey behind Fibbler. And when LinkedIn launched their company intelligence API a while back, which was very good news, and we kind of partnered in that, which was super, because it gave us a lot more data, a lot more granular data. So we were basically able to, we have about 600 or so customers today, specifically in the SMB segment. That's where we focus. So we have all of their CRM data, and then we can connect that with everything that happens on LinkedIn. And that has proven to be extremely powerful. And you talked about the security aspect before, because that has, of course, been a tricky part in the beginning when we launched this, because companies are very wary of what to do with the CRM data. I filled out so many of these security assessments over the years now, but I get it. It's like it's the most critical piece of asset, right? So, and I think the company intelligence data has helped us in that, because we only access the like company data, so it's not as sensitive as like the personal data and the contacts and so on, and that has really helped us. Where we kind of fit in this ecosystem that is attribution is really on the low end of the spectrum. So we have mostly SMB customers, I would say 10 to like 500 employees or so, and because that's kind of where my knowledge is coming from and what we're building for. And then we have definitely more enterprise customers as well, but I would say they are much harder to prove value from, like, because they have so long sales cycles. But in essence, like the difference with Fibbler that we're trying to do here is you can connect your ads account, you can connect your CRM, you should see some sort of data and value in 5 minutes, and that's about it. And then you continue using it. And I will kind of show you today a few of those use cases that we try to solve for. We have done this, completely without the AI, funnily enough. So now we have to start thinking about how to do AI, because you have to at this point, which will be interesting. But like the first and maybe most important use case that we wanted to solve for, that I wanted to solve for, my co-founder is obviously the technical one, so he is just following my lead, as you say. But what we wanted to solve for was that obviously most people don't click a LinkedIn ad, books a demo, becomes a customer, right? It's a way longer journey, and how can we show that? So what we did essentially was that we connected to their CRM, we connected to their ads account, and then we matched data between those two at a more automatic level. And we did something that we call influence pipeline and influence revenue, which is quite common today, I would say, like a way to look at, okay, how much has LinkedIn impacted here in this? Not to say that LinkedIn should have all the credit, but LinkedIn has been part of all of this. And then you can kind of, as a company, customize what that influence should mean. Like, should it be a few impressions? Maybe that's not a real influence. Should it be thousands of impressions before this deal has been created? So it's very like customizable. But that's kind of where we started, and this is where kind of our customers, I would say, get the first kind of aha value. They connect in 5 minutes, they see some sort of value, and they can see kind of which deals they are influencing. Sometimes they are a bit skeptical, of course, but what does this number mean and so on. But it's like, it's so much more than what they've had before. 90% of all of the marketing teams I've talked to, all of the teams I've worked with in the past, they have always been like last touch, first touch attribution inside the CRM, right? And there it's very hard to prove LinkedIn's value. And I think that was what we were trying to do here. And now I told you, we launched, I think, 2 years ago or something like that. We haven't done anything with AI up until this point, because I just didn't know what to do. And now we've launched kind of our first AI feature, which is an MCP, which is essentially that you can take all this data that we have gathered and structured and so on, and expose that in like your own Claude or ChatGPT instance, and kind of create these your own reporting and dashboards. Because the issue with having like a software like we do with fixed dashboards is that we tell them what they should look at, essentially, and they might want to look at completely different things. So I think this is I'm going to show you soon how it kind of works, but essentially they can dig into this data from the company intelligence API in any shape or form they want to, how they want to present the data to their board, as an example. And we only launched this last week, I think, and we've already had a bunch of customers like sending me images of what they have created. One person here creating like a reporting where he wants to compare like spend, the companies reached, and then companies engaged to deals. Like, there's so much you can do when you can kind of decide. But that's also the hard part, right? How it's mostly for the more advanced marketeers and also for the agencies, right? Did you know what to ask? But most of our customers, they don't know what to ask. They are, they're happy to have a number. They don't, yeah. So I think it's still, a bit cautious about AI and numbers. It has been very important to me. Like, we need to make sure the numbers are correct, because otherwise everything will be very bad. So yeah, it's been very, very tricky like that. And I thought here's my Claude instance, and you don't have to read my reasons. It's like hand size selection advice. So I don't know. But essentially what we're trying to do here, that I think this is really cool, that you can essentially ask everything you want out of your kind of CRM and advertising data together. So here I'm gonna ask something like, compare your influence pipeline this quarter versus last quarter, and forecast if we're going to improve or not at the end of the quarter. It's very powerful that you can kind of create your own reporting. To me, it feels like a new world that we live in a little bit. But it also has dangers, of course, because AI can hallucinate and AI can do weird things. Good thing about AI also is people are in general, people are not, they want to see things happening all the time. But with AI and these LLMs, I feel like we are okay with waiting. So,
and we are okay with blinking, we can wait.
Exactly, we're okay with paying tokens. So the second reason for also doing like an MCP is also that the cost of AI is obviously ending up on the customer, which is like that is the difficult part with AI, right? It's very costly in many ways. Yeah, so, but essentially this is mock data also, so it obviously didn't work as I planned to. But anyways, you get a report of some sort, usually works very well, not with mock data.
So this was supposed to be me talking about, what was going on in these clips, but unfortunately, all of my final clip from this Dublin trip had no sound at all. So I'll try to do like a voiceover instead to try and explain what happened and what was going on at the end of this trip, because it became pretty hectic, right? We left somewhere where you saw me doing a presentation at the LinkedIn office for all of these agencies, and the day after I was supposed to do this presentation for about 100 or so LinkedIn people talking about Fibbler and so on, but I didn't know that at this point. I thought I would sit around a small table with maybe 5 to 10 people and just discuss Fibbler and kind of the possibilities about doing so. Before I left the LinkedIn office after the agency presentation, I was told that there would be 100 people tomorrow. So I was supposed to go out to a dinner with all of these agencies, but quickly realized that, okay, what I have prepared is not enough here. That's why I'm laying on this bed here talking about it. So it's not enough. I need to prepare a good presentation, something valuable that these 100 people can actually engage with, right? So instead of going to this fancy incident or I was supposed to go to. I went to a quick burrito place, so took some sort of pulled pork burrito, ate it in my small hotel room, and then I just hammered down a few hours of doing a presentation, practicing what I was supposed to say the day after for the 1 hour presentation for the LinkedIn people. And I was done, I think, around 10 p.m. or so. Yeah, so what was supposed to be a networking thing at the end turned into me hustling to work because I had to do a bigger presentation. But and all in all, as I'm trying to say in this last clip, which is right before I go home, it went so well. It's honestly the best presentation I've ever had. It was around 100 or so people from LinkedIn, both in person and online. I kind of just described Fibbler on a high level for the people that didn't know it very well, and then also in depth in a few areas for the people that did. And we ended with a Q&A, and I don't think I've ever gotten that many questions. Like, people were really engaged and, you know, excited about these things, because measurement is obviously important for LinkedIn as well, to be able to show kind of what the channel is giving back. So I think we have a great win-win situation there. But yeah, it's really sad that everything cut off, right? But it happens sometimes, and we gotta roll with the punches here. I hope this voiceover was fine for you. Thanks for following along to Dublin. I'm actually going back in like another month, so we'll probably film again then. But until the next one, thank you for watching and see you later.